I'm the top salesperson who brings in millions in revenue for the company. Just because I didn't compliment her looks in the company Snapchat group, she fired me without hesitation. She replaced me with her cousin. Until later, when the company's sales plummeted to zero. She came to apologize to me in person. Please come back. My boyfriend said he'd break up with me if you don't return. The boss went on a business trip for a month and left his girlfriend in charge of the company. Who knew that her first act as the new boss would be to target me? At 10 a.m., I arrived at the office on time. I saw my colleague looking nervous, pointing at the boss's office and whispering, "Tiffany's here. She wants to see you." Tiffany Fox was the boss's new girlfriend, known for her arrogance and bullying. She would curse at anyone she didn't like. Once, when a female colleague stayed a bit longer in the boss's office to report work, Tiffany spread rumors that she was a prostitute. She bullied that girl so much that she was forced to resign. But because Tiffany was sweet-talking and good at flattery, the boss usually let her do whatever she wanted. I didn't expect her to target me now. I put down my coffee and pushed open the door to enter the office. As soon as I entered, a file flew toward my face. Do you know what time it is? Company policy states work starts at 8 a.m. Why are you coming in at 10? The sharp edge of the file folder left a bloody cut on my forehead. I held my head, looking at Tiffany, who was throwing her weight around behind the desk. My 10 a.m. start time was a perk for being the top salesperson. Everyone in the company knew about this unwritten rule. Years ago, when the boss's company was about to go bankrupt, they accidentally hired me. In my first month, I generated $5 million in sales, bringing the company back from the brink of death. Since then, the boss had treated me like a precious asset, usually listening to my opinions on major decisions. She slammed the table, her face contorted with rage. Look at your punch card. You've been coming in at 10 for a whole month. Do you think you're above company rules? According to company policy, 3 consecutive days of tardiness can result in termination. You can get out now. I looked at Tiffany in disbelief. You're firing me? Did you ask the boss? I created 80% of the company's profits, and she dared to fire me? Tiffany snorted coldly, looking at me with disdain. You're just a salesperson. A lousy peddler. What's wrong with me firing you? This is my boyfriend's company. I'm the boss's girlfriend. I can fire whoever I want. The boss had treated me well, so I couldn't just leave like this. I sat down on the sofa. You should ask for the boss's opinion first. Tiffany rolled her eyes. Who do you think you are? Saying this, she directly called the boss. The boss's voice on the other end sounded tired. What's the matter? Tiffany, who had just been yelling at me in a shrill voice, immediately softened her tone, cooing, "Honey, I miss you." The boss sighed. Just tell me what you want. Tiffany glanced at me triumphantly. There's a salesperson who doesn't follow the rules, always coming in late. I want to fire him. Whatever, I need to rest now. The boss casually agreed and hung up. Tiffany looked at me arrogantly. Did you hear that? I can fire whoever I want. Now get out. I laughed coldly, looking at Tiffany. Are you sure? If the boss comes back and finds out you fired me, he might get angry. I kindly reminded her. After all, headhunters had been trying to poach me with high offers for years, but out of loyalty to the boss, I had always stayed. My leaving wouldn't affect me at all, but Tiffany might not be so lucky. Tiffany glared at me, her face twisted with arrogance and tyranny. Who do you think you are? You're just a salesperson. I'm my boyfriend's future wife, the mistress of this company. Do you think he'd choose you over me? Hearing her say this, I shook my head. If that's how it is, so be it. I turned and left the office. Outside, my colleagues had heard our argument but didn't know what happened. They kept looking at me. Boss, what's going on? I started packing my things efficiently, smiling. What's going on? I got fired, that's what. My colleagues' eyes widened, looking at me in disbelief. Fire you? Has Tiffany gone crazy? Everyone knows you're the boss's golden goose. Isn't she afraid the boss will break up with her? I shook my head and chuckled. Well, that's not my problem anymore. After all, it's her decision. She'll have to bear the consequences. Besides, I've been working for so many years, it might be nice to take a good rest. I had long ago saved enough money to be financially independent, but I had never taken a break and felt too embarrassed to ask. This was a perfect opportunity. My colleague was furious. But why did she fire you? Did you offend her somehow, boss? I frowned, thinking carefully. I guess it's because last time when she spread rumors about Zoe, I stood up for Zoe, remember? Since then, she's been picking on me, always finding fault one way or another. Yesterday, Tiffany uploaded a photo of herself to the company WhatsApp group, and everyone was flooding the comments with compliments. I was the only one who read it without replying. I guess that was the final straw. Should I call the boss now? You're the backbone of the company, you can't just leave like this. I shook my head, smiling lightly. Forget it. If I ever come back, it'll be after Tiffany and the boss break up. I really can't stand her behavior anymore. We'll see in the future. I finished packing my things and headed to the finance department to collect my salary for the month. I had only worked for 10 days this month, but my salary and commission amounted to $100,000. I informed the finance staff about my termination and asked her to transfer the salary to my account later. Unexpectedly, Tiffany suddenly appeared at the company entrance, glaring at me. "Jack Wilson, didn't I tell you to get lost? Why are you still here?" I looked at her calmly. She was gloating, thinking she had found a good boyfriend, looking particularly disgusting. Seeing that I didn't respond to her, Tiffany became agitated. She came forward and grabbed my clothes. "Are you deaf? What are you doing in the finance department? These are all important company documents. Get out now or I'll call the police." I frowned and forcefully shook off Tiffany's hand. "Let go. Now that I've been fired, is there a problem with me collecting my salary for this month? I'm already being nice by not asking for severance pay." Tiffany glared at the young girl in front of me. "How much is his salary?" The finance girl answered honestly. $100,500. Tiffany's face immediately changed. "How much?" After the finance girl repeated it, she pointed at me and said, "You violated company rules by being late, so your salary for this month is forfeited." I laughed coldly. "A $200 deduction for each tardiness? Is that how you calculate? Did you even graduate elementary school?" To my surprise, Tiffany looked at me righteously. "It's a new rule I made. 3 tardies and your whole month's salary is gone. Now get out." "What right do you have to make rules?" Tiffany crossed her arms, her mouth gaping like a shark, shamelessly saying, "I'll have a share in this company in the future. What's wrong with me making rules?" I couldn't be bothered to argue with her. "Then you can expect a lawsuit from me." With that, I strode out. I drove home and had just put my things away when I saw a group message from Tiffany in the company's Snapchat group that I hadn't left yet. From now on, everyone must reply to any messages I post on Snapchat or WhatsApp. Those who don't reply will be fired like that person today. It seems she really fired me because I didn't join in praising her. The boss really hit the jackpot with this girlfriend of his. Everyone started replying to the group message. I found it annoying and simply left all the groups. My phone suddenly became much quieter. However, since Tiffany wouldn't let me take my last month's salary, I decided to teach her a lesson. All the important clients were saved in my contacts, so I sent out a mass message to these clients, basically saying that I had resigned and would no longer be handling business for the company. Most of these people were clients I had brought in, and they were mainly working with the company because of me. If I left, they would likely follow me. Sure enough, within 2 minutes, former clients started messaging me, asking which company I had gone to and expressing their willingness to transfer their contracts. I explained the situation to each of them, saying that I hadn't found a new job yet, but I would contact them as soon as I did. There were so many clients on my contact list that I kept replying until it got dark and finally fell asleep from exhaustion. When I woke up the next day, a colleague had sent me a message. "Boss, many of our business partners are saying they want to terminate their cooperation and won't renew their contracts. Was this your doing?" It seems the plan had worked. I chuckled. I didn't do anything. I just told them the fact that I'm no longer working there. "You're still the best, boss." When Tiffany came in this morning and heard about this, she blew up at several salespeople, demanding to know why they couldn't retain the clients. Now several salespeople are planning to quit, saying they won't put up with this crap. It seems quite a few people in the company were unhappy with Tiffany. I wondered how she would handle the fallout. On my end, I was preparing to contact a lawyer to file a major lawsuit to get my salary back. After all, I didn't really need the money, but I couldn't let her off easy. Unexpectedly, after just a few days, Tiffany called me. I was surprised and answered uncertainly. "What is it?" As soon as I picked up, I was met with a barrage of abuse from the other end. "Jack Wilson, are you even human? I'm asking you, where did all the company's client contacts go? They said you have them all. Give me those phone numbers right now. That's company property. Don't think I won't sue you." I was stunned for a moment, then realized that Tiffany must be getting desperate. "How can you be so disgusting? Give me the client contacts right now. Or I swear I'll destroy you. You believe me?" I laughed coldly. Those clients were won over by my hard work in the market. They only recognize me. Why should I give them to you? Tiffany became even more unhinged. "Did the company pay you for nothing? This was your job. Did you think we were feeding you for free? You're an ungrateful bastard. My boyfriend has been paying you so much all these years, and now you're taking all the clients away. You're nothing but a heartless animal." I sneered. "You want the contacts, right? Fine, I'll give them to you. I'd love to see how you manage to win these clients back." It was just a phone number after all, and I had absolute confidence. I wanted to see how Tiffany would handle this. After hanging up, I sent the client contact list to my colleague, asking her to give it to Tiffany. I didn't believe she could win back many clients. The next day, my colleague sent me a video. It was a secretly recorded video of Tiffany. She was seen calling one of the clients, and though we couldn't hear what was said on the other end, Tiffany suddenly started cursing loudly. "Did that bastard Jack tell you something? You're all in cahoots with him, aren't you? How much did Jack pay you to say this? If you're not buying, then get lost. See where else you can go to buy." Tiffany angrily hung up the phone and violently threw it down. "I don't believe the company can't survive without these clients. Everyone, go out and find new clients now. Each of you bring me 5 new clients today. If not, you can all get out." The people in the office immediately started complaining. The company sold large machinery and equipment. It was already difficult to find 1 client in half a month. How could they possibly bring in 5 in a day? Sure enough, Tiffany glared at them, her face twisted with anger. "What? Are you all trying to rebel?" One of the older salespeople, Robert, stood up. "Why don't we wait for the boss to come back and decide? You don't understand how to run the business. What if something goes wrong?" To everyone's surprise, Tiffany crossed her arms and looked at the salesperson with disdain. "If you're not capable, then you're not capable. The company doesn't keep useless people. If you can't do it, then get out." The person she scolded was a very gentle man. Being humiliated like this, his face immediately turned red. He threw down his work badge. "I can't do it. Whoever can do it, let them come." As one salesperson left, the others followed suit, taking off their badges. "We can't do it either." Tiffany looked like she was about to laugh from anger. "Fine, fine, fine. You want to rebel? I don't believe the company can't run without you lot. Now get out. Get out." With her loud shout, the company's salespeople gradually walked out. Tiffany glared at them, cursing, "I don't believe the company can't operate without you useless lot. You really think you're something special?" The video ended there. My colleague gleefully sent me a message. "The boss will come back to find everything in ruins. The company is going bankrupt." I couldn't help but laugh. This Tiffany was really going all out on a path of self-destruction. She actually dared to drive away a group of experienced salespeople. What would she do when the boss came back? It's a pity I couldn't see it in person. It must be quite a spectacle. That afternoon, I unexpectedly received a message from our former boss. He asked, "Ask everyone what souvenirs they want. I'll bring something back for everyone." Tiffany had kept my resignation a secret, so he didn't know about it. I sighed lightly and replied, "We've all resigned. You should ask your girlfriend for details." The boss quickly sent me a video call, but I didn't answer. There was no point in answering now. I had established the studio with these people, and everyone had tasted success. No matter what, they wouldn't want to go back to that company to be salespeople. And I couldn't abandon them, so at this point, there was no room for negotiation. The next morning, the boss flew back and rushed into the company. Someone in our group reported the situation, saying he had entered the company and told us all to come down to watch the drama. After some consideration, I decided to go down. After all, there were some things I needed to clarify. I saw Tiffany, who seemed unaware that he would return early, explaining in a panic. "Honey, those people were really unruly. I thought it would be better to get you a batch of obedient ones. After all, anyone can do that job." I sneered. I didn't expect that even at this point, Tiffany was still trying to shift blame. She was truly beyond help. The boss finally lost his patience. He stepped forward and slapped Tiffany across the face, roaring in anger, "Who the hell gave you permission to act on your own?" Tiffany held her face, looking stunned by the slap. Who are you to me? Who gave you such authority? Even yesterday you were still lying to me, saying everything at the company was normal. The company's sales for this month are 0. You call this normal? Now get out. Get out." The relatives Tiffany had brought in, seeing that things were going south, had already run away. Seeing the boss's state, I thought today might not be the right time to talk about business. I decided to come back another day. In the evening, when I returned home, someone suddenly knocked on my door. I opened it to find Tiffany standing there, her eyes red. Seeing me, she was about to kneel down. I was startled and quickly dodged. "What are you doing? Kneeling to me will shorten my life." But Tiffany said, please bring those people back. My boyfriend said unless you return, he'll break up with me and tell me to get lost." Tiffany's face was streaked with tears. "I was really wrong. I was too young before, I didn't know how important you all were. Please forgive me for being ignorant. I was wrong." I frowned at her. "Now you know you were wrong? Where were you before? All these brothers of mine have families to support. You fired them without a second thought. Did you ever consider what would happen to them?" Tiffany was at a loss for words, not knowing what to say. Of course, she had never thought about these issues. In her world, Only she existed. You're not regretting it, you're just scared. Scared that without him, you'll never find another rich man. Having her true motives exposed, a flash of viciousness crossed Tiffany's face. She stood up, staring at me intently. So what? I'll tell you the truth, I'm already pregnant with my boyfriend's child. No matter what, he'll have to marry me. I looked at her flat stomach and shrugged. What does that have to do with me? Quickly leave my home or I'll call the police. Tiffany glared at me viciously, then turned and left. I didn't know what tricks Tiffany might pull next, but none of that had anything to do with me anymore. Now, I only needed to focus on running our studio well. That was the right path. However, the next day, someone came to our office. It was our former boss. I saw him looking around our office with tired eyes and felt a pang of guilt in my heart. No matter how we had come out to start our own business, we hadn't told him. That was ultimately our mistake. I led him to the conference room. He smiled. This conference room of yours looks quite professional. I nodded. It's all right, but certainly not as good as your company. At the mention of the company, the boss's brow furrowed tightly again. I'm preparing to file for bankruptcy. Without you key personnel, what's the use of keeping an empty shell? That idiot Tiffany will never understand that people are the most important asset, not the company's name. I nodded. Boss, I'm sorry too. I was also at fault. At the time, I had acted out of spite by not telling him, but this action had inadvertently hurt him as well. He shook his head and said, I've already had people investigate what happened. I don't blame you. This whole thing is entirely Tiffany's fault. But I have another reason for coming to see you today. I nodded. Go on. After selling the company, I want to invest in your studio. You can expand it into a company. I believe in your ability, you definitely won't let me lose money. And I've been working in this industry for so many years, I'm tired of it. Might as well do something else. I was surprised and nodded repeatedly. That would be great. It would be our honor. After discussing the investment details, I suddenly remembered what Tiffany had said before. Boss, Tiffany said she's pregnant. Is that true? The boss snorted coldly, his eyes icy. We don't know yet. She refuses to cooperate with the examination. I suspect it's all fake, just to make me forgive her. That idiot. Don't worry, I have ways to deal with it. After the boss left, I announced this good news to my colleagues. From today on, we would officially be busy. We finally had the qualifications to register as a company. I didn't pay attention to Tiffany's situation after that. It wasn't until later that a colleague told me they heard Tiffany's fake pregnancy was exposed, and she was kicked out by the boss. Her family, influenced by her uncle and aunt, didn't want her either and told her to get lost. Tiffany later went to kneel in front of the boss's house again but was eventually blacklisted from the community and couldn't even get in. I heard she's now working as a hostess in a bar to make money. My colleague dragged me to the bar where Tiffany was working. We saw her sitting in a booth, drinking with several men. She downed a liter of beer in one go, while the clients she was entertaining just laughed mockingly and carelessly threw a few bills in her face. Tiffany knelt on the ground to pick up the money, still having to say thank you. I watched silently, without a trace of sympathy in my eyes. Tiffany ended up in this situation because she deserved it. People ultimately can't earn money beyond their level of understanding. All that's given unexpectedly will eventually be taken away in another form. The end.